Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hello, happy quarantine. Day 89 million it seems. Today, my hair is not good. I missed a piece. Today, I was in a meeting with my coworkers and no salt, no shade, they mentioned that they were getting like really fed up with their hair. Some have roots showing, some have, just like split ends like the rest of us. And I was thinking, what if, as a future hair care professional, if you will, I, with my wide audience, of course, could make a video about how to handle your hair at home and what not to do. Cut it yourself, color it yourself. Elsa's talking, that's kind of annoying. So, here are my hair care tips for quarantine that I have gathered by doing an extensive amount of research. Half of it is just like, I don't want to say common sense because that's mean and not everyone has knowledge about how to take care of your hair, so it's not common sense, but things that I, as a pretty educated human being, I like to think in hair, not a lot of other things. A lot of them are things that I could just tell you like that because that's what they teach us in school. And other things I did do some research on because, like, for example, there's something about extensions, and I don't know almost anything about extensions. We haven't really gotten there yet. So that stuff is coming from an outside source, Google. But a lot of it is just like, here's what I think, if that makes sense. So let us just jump right in. Number 1, do not color your hair at home. Do not color your hair at home. Grocery stores are for essential things only, and coloring your hair with box color that you get from Market Basket or Walmart or whatever, what have you, it is not for that right now. So don't color your hair at home. Do not go to the hair color aisle. Go get your milk, go get your eggs, go get your toilet paper. Get all the stuff that you actually need to survive, and don't worry about your roots that are showing. I got roots showing too. You can't tell because we did a balayage on my hair before school was canceled, which highly recommend balayaging. I love doing balayages. I love having a balayage. But yeah, because God forbid we have to be quarantined or something, your hair is gonna grow out, but it's not gonna be noticeable because a balayage goes from your natural colored into the blonde, like we got here. So when it's growing out, you can't even tell. So it looks like you always have this gorgeous hair even though you haven't gone for 8 weeks. But for those of you who don't have a balayage, do not do your roots yourself. Do not panic color your hair because you're a bored teenager. Go read a book. You don't need to color your hair red, blue, green. Do not color your hair at home. When all of this is over, it's going to be even more of a pain to get your box color that you had to do immediately out of your hair. Let me tell you something. Box color has a lot of direct dyes, and they essentially just end up staining your hair. So yeah, don't box color your hair. Just don't, okay? Because color correction is a pain. It is not fun, and it's also very expensive. And it's expensive because it's a pain to do. So it'll just be a lose-lose situation if you box color your hair right now and then are like, oh, I box colored my hair during quarantine and I need it fixed. Avoid the whole situation. Don't box color your hair. Number 2. Don't cut your hair at home either, okay? I want to emphasize this a little bit less than don't color your hair at home, because your hair will grow back if you cut it yourself and it looks terrible. Box dye will not rinse out, so that's why I want to emphasize that just a lot more, because box dye is not reversible for the most part. But your hair, if it's a bad cut, it will grow back. It'll look bad for, you know, the rest of quarantine, but at least after quarantine, it'll just be the price of a normal haircut to fix, not an extra $250 because color correcting is a lot of work. But just because it's not gonna cost you 6 fortunes to get fixed after quarantine doesn't mean you should cut it at home. They make us do X amount of hours practicing hair cutting for a reason. It's not just, oh, let me just pull all my hair to the top and shh. No, it is not that simple. It is not. It's about angles, projection, how you're holding it, how tight you're holding it. It is not just, wow, cool, now my hair's cut. It's like I went to go get it cut professionally, but I did it for free in my house during quarantine. No, don't, stop, no, enough, don't, no. That's not really any better, but, it will grow back, but that does not mean it's okay. If you're cutting your hair because it looks bad, it's gonna look even worse if you just cut it yourself. I understand, I haven't had my hair cut either. I'm not gonna do it myself, even though I could if I wanted to. No, I'm better than that, because cutting your hair yourself is a lot different than when you're cutting someone else's hair. If you're cutting your hair because you have split ends, I have other solutions, and that leads us into number 3. If you have split ends and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna cut my hair because I have split ends, it's straight across, it's not that big of a deal. It is, don't even try it. I have a solution for you. So split ends come from old, dry, unmoisturized hair, and you can fix that without cutting your hair. If that's the only reason that you're cutting your hair, let me offer this to you. Conditioner is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous thing. It is filled with tons of moisturizers, tons of vitamins, tons of stuff meant to seal those split ends right up. The other thing that causes split ends a lot is if you tie your hair up when it's wet, you putting a top knot on your head right here is really bad for your hair. So if you're doing that and you're like, wow, I've got a ton of split ends, I need to cut my own hair, reevaluate your life. Just stop putting your hair in a top knot, use some deep conditioner to fix your mistakes. Don't make another one by cutting your own hair. Thank you, next. Number 4, brush your hair. A really good hair brushing can save your life. Brushing your hair is for more than just getting out the knots, okay? And like when we first learned this, I was like, what do you mean? Like brushing your hair, that's just so you don't have 8 different knots in 12 different sections of your hair. It's also the first step of cleaning your hair, washing your hair. You should pretty much always brush your hair before you get in the shower, because first of all, you won't have to rip those knots out with your fingers in the shower. Second of all, it gets the dirt, the dust, the grossness. It can even eliminate oils and stuff. I mean, they're not bad, but like we don't want to see them, right? Brushing your hair helps with physical stuff and also internal stuff. Brushing your hair stimulates your scalp, which stimulates hair growth and good blood flow. What you want to do is you want to start at the ends and work your way up, and then you want to really make sure that you almost rake the brush across your scalp, because that's what gives you good blood flow. Now listen, hairbrushes aren't super reliable all the time because they have these little like ball things on them, and if you have really thick hair, I don't have really thick hair, but I have, you know, mildly thick hair. It's not thin. The ball things break off. So that, if you rake that across your scalp and it's got like broken bristles on it because the round thing's not there anymore, you are not doing yourself any good. You're gonna bleed. So if you see the little round things breaking off of your brush, you should just invest in a new one, because those ball things are there for a reason. Really try to massage your scalp with the brush when you're brushing your hair. Number 5. If you've got a balayage and your ends need a little like shine, restorative shine, they make these hair masks that act as toners. Toners are not permanent. That's why I feel comfortable recommending this. So if you have blonde, if there are companies that make hair masks that have color in them that will kind of add an extra element of shine and almost give like a retouched look, toners are gonna be your best friend right now. Number 6, don't use heat products while we are in quarantine. If you are literally just sitting at home, doing your work at home, not being seen by the public, use this time as a beautiful, gorgeous refresher for your hair. Your hair goes through so much. We wash it, we blow dry it, then we straighten it, or we curl it, somewhere in between. And then we spray this hairspray and like 6 other chemicals. She needs a break. She needs to replenish, she needs to rejuvenate. Let her be, okay? You don't need to straighten your hair every day. You don't need to curl your hair every day. You don't need to blow dry your hair every day. Let it air dry. Put away the blow dryer. Number 7. This is regarding hair extensions. I don't know a lot about hair extensions, but based on my research, extensive, your extensions have probably grown out by now. If they haven't, they will, because we've still got another few weeks of quarantine, right? If your hair extensions are really grown out and you know, you got them even way before quarantine even started and your retouch appointment was a week into quarantine and obviously got canceled, take them out. If you leave your hair extensions in for too long, your hair is gonna get super matted and then you'll get breakage too because you'll have to like literally rip it out. Matted hair, not fun. Definitely take them out. If your hair extensions are miraculously still intact, do your best to brush them every day, which this is probably like a general taking care of them, but only brush it from mid-shaft to ends. Don't go all the way up to the top because that's just gonna rip them out and then it's gonna be a whole crisis, as aforementioned. So only mid-shaft to ends. Don't go all the way to the top, just to keep them, you know, not tangled, not matted, not in crisis mode. Hopefully this helped you a little bit. Hopefully it stops somebody from coloring their hair at home. Please don't color your hair at home. Box dye is a nightmare. And honestly, cutting your hair yourself isn't a really good choice either, so you should probably rethink that too. But I hope it just stopped one person from making a bad decision. That's all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Probably not the best video we've ever made. Definitely not the worst. I think the TikTok one is the worst because the audio is awful, but that's just my opinion. So stay safe, don't cut your own hair, do not color your own hair. There's one thing to take away from this video: do not color your hair at home. Please and thank you. I'm gonna go. Bye.